So, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to you from the Imperial Hotel here in Blackpool. At the moment, we've got the announcements by Mark Shepherd introducing the referees. We've got two semi-finals happening this afternoon. It's Mick Hill of England, number 1 seed, 5 times world champion, and of course Carl Sutton, number 3 seed from England. He's yet to win a title. So that's one semi-final. And of course in the other semi-final we've got from Northern Ireland Dylan Leary, current European champion, and Dom Cooney. He's had to go through the qualifying stages, so he's had to play many frames to get to this semi-final. That's the semi that I'll be bringing you. It's yours truly, Joe Fanto. I believe the referee on this table is going to be Richard Rhodes. And that looks like Dom Cooney pulling out his cue from his elaborate cue case. Doing a bit of stretching, and I found Dylan Leary quite amazing in the European Championships. I was there to witness that final. So wherever you might be watching around the world, a big warm welcome from Joe Fanto. It's my pleasure to bring you some commentary comments between what promises to be a great match between Dom Cooney, qualifier, and Dylan Leary from Northern Ireland. Neither of these two players were seeded, and of course it's a best of 19 frames, so it's going to be a race to 10 by my calculation. Whoever wins 10 frames first is the winner. Referee makes sure that the balls are racked and nice and tight. I think we might find that the men will be very meticulous about making sure that the balls are touching. Okay, so this is the Supreme World 8-Ball Pool Championships. Supreme, of course, is our sponsor, provider of the tables. They've been a wonderful sponsor for many, many years of pool for these World Championships and pool here in the UK, of course. So it looks like it's Dom Cooney to break. Nice big break. Can't see that any balls have disappeared at this stage. We'll just take a quick count. And yeah, Dylan Leary's coming to an open table. And not one ball touching a cushion. So Dylan Leary, I would say, would be saying to himself, this is an opportunity to pot all 8 here and get myself on the scoreboard very quickly. But of course, as we know, for those of us that have played the game, it's easier said than done. I've managed to muck up many what appears to be an easy clearance. There we go, first yellow potted. Now with these players, I'm certainly not going to make too many predictions because they play pretty quickly and I think they know which way they're going to go. They don't need me to tell them. I'll just do my best to try and pick 1 or 2 shots ahead. But as you can see, the markers, Dylan Leary on the yellows, Dom Cooney on the reds, and the score is 0-0. Looks like we're going to see going for that yellow into the middle. That's it. Coming around nicely. Got a choice of about 3 very potable balls, all within just inches from the cue ball. The spotted cue ball, of course, which came in 2006. We had a particular computer game sponsor that used a spotted white. I remember there was lots of conjecture because of the slight extra weight that a spotted cue ball has with the texture of the spots. But I think we're past all that now, and everybody accepts the spotted white. So it's Dylan Leary here, just trying to get on with business and put these last 4 balls in the black to get himself on the scoreboard. He's the current European champion. And I can tell you he was certainly in scintillating form in Ireland when he won the European Championship. And it's no surprise that he's carried that form into these World Championships. That's a very controlled shot, showing very good cue ball control in the early stages of this match. Looks like he gets around the table reasonably quickly. And of course the other match going on is current world champion McHugh versus Cal Sutton, where it's already 1-0 to McHugh. So Dylan Leary, so far things going according to plan. He would have had a look at that spread and said, I need to pot all of these and I should be 1-0 up after I relinquish the table. And of course after he clears here, if he clears, he'll also get to break. So Dylan Leary on the first black of the match, the first 8 ball. Dylan Leary 1, Dom Cooney 0 in best of 19 frames, coming to you from the Imperial Hotel here in Blackpool, England. And the referee gathers the balls. There's still seven reds on the table, and of course the cue ball. The yellows will need to come out of the chute, and referee's gone missing for a few seconds. Referee Richard Rhodes. Of course it's an honour for these referees to get one of these finals to referee at. They all aspire to referee at the World Championship just like the players. They're very proud to wear their black suits, bow ties, and and make the main arena for the closing stages of these World Championships, which, as you can see the logo in the background, the World 8-Ball Pool Federation oversees this event, but for many years we're very thankful to the English Pool Association for the brilliant job that they do in organising these championships from one year to the next. In fact, 27 years they've been organising these World Championships. There are moves, of course, to give opportunity to other countries to do it in the future. It would be nice to give people from the UK and from England a chance to travel somewhere else. And I'm sure countries would take it on board and have a go at, because it's a great thing to be able to host the World Championships. It's a great promotion for your sport, for that sport in your country. So, Dylan Leary's still at the table, and he'd be hoping he can keep the table from the break. You can see the extreme angle that he breaks from. He's certainly got a ball off the break. Looks like a yellow ball. All the reds are still on the table, so he's got to make a choice. May well be the reds that he nominates here. I can see a red into that top left-hand corner, the way the table lies at the moment, which now becomes the bottom left, which I'd say is probably the one he'll take. And then he'll be able to continue the break. Okay, the lie of the balls in this instance don't appear to be as inviting as what they were in that previous break, but you never know, these players can sort of create what appear to be impossible situations into clearances. He's actually looking to stay on the yellows, I think. He's looking to see if that yellow pot's in the middle pocket. No, he's taking that red option. And he's missed. And he's gone in off. So, that gives the table straight back to Dom Cooney. Well, not straight back, it gives him the opportunity. And because it's an in-off, that means 2 shots, 2 visits. So here's an opportunity for Dom to get on the scoreboard and level things at this early stages in the match. This is a time when, if you're a player and you come in to these matches, you're always hoping that you can get a good start, so that your confidence builds. So he's got red into the middle right-hand pocket. He's going to try and disturb those 3 balls, the black, red and yellow. No, just plays conservatively. He's got a couple of balls there, a couple of reds there that he can run into this, cannon into this red over the left pocket. Having a good look at this, he's taken the red nearest the left. Plays that nicely. Sometimes you can actually lose the red that you're playing into the cannon, but he's played that with enough pace with a nice slow pace to leave it hanging over that pocket as well. Seems slightly snookered. Now Dom Cooney has had to navigate his way through qualifiers, so he's had to win a lot of frames to be here. But I would say he must be a very good player to have made it to this stage. Didn't quite put that ball, but he's still got another shot. Remember that he's at the table because of a foul from Dylan Leary. So now Dom would be fairly confident that he can get his first frame on the board here. It's a nice shot. Makes his way back down this end of the table. And he can take that red nearest the yellow, between the yellow and black, up to the top right-hand corner. And maybe run through slightly to bring the remaining red in the middle of the table back to this bottom left hand corner, cannon onto the red. He's having a good look. He's sort of navigating this end of the table.
30 seconds.
Plays that perfectly. Okay, so it's come round. He wasn't able to, the angle he had, he wasn't able to hold the white for that red. So I suspect he'll take the red over the pocket at the moment and just make his way to be able to put that last red into the middle pocket. There we go. Just the slightest of side on that ball, on the white. So he's got to make sure he holds the white, doesn't lose it, so he can stay on the black either into that same pocket or the end or the top pocket. Play that nicely. And Dom Cooney draws this match level at 1-1 in these early stages against Dylan Leary, the current European champion from Northern Ireland. So it's going to be up to the referee to rack up these balls again. A big cheerio to wherever you're watching. Great to have you here to watch these World Championships. We're very proud to bring them to you live streaming, courtesy of Yvonne Armitage and the World 8 Ball Pool Federation live stream team. But of course all the technical expertise provided by Yvonne. She does a wonderful job in making all this happen. This tournament is run under the auspices of the English Pool Association, sanctioned by the WPF, and tournament director Alan Benton, who's here for the duration of the championship, make sure everything goes smooth and solving every problem as it comes along. So that score should read Dom Cooney 1, Dylan Leary 1. And it's Dom to break. At the score 1-1. That's it. The scoreboard's been corrected. So he likes to break from close to the middle. A yellow has disappeared and a red has disappeared. And unfortunately, I think the white disappeared as well. So hence the white comes out. Dylan Leary gets one shot. There's a change of control of the table, but it's not a foul. You get one shot, and of course you can take the cue ball to anywhere behind the D. At these championships we recently had an annual general meeting where it was a 5 years where all the countries consider any rule changes, and it wasn't found necessary to change any of the rules or add any new rules. In fact, there were only a few descriptive changes or a few technical changes where we embodied the setting up of the balls and how they should be racked into the rules. In the past it's just been referee guidelines. Total snooker has become a major heading in the rules, and of course the lag has become part of the rules, so the actual rules themselves there's been no changes, which makes it nice and easy for everyone. Normally it's a good sign when you find that your rules can it's now probably 10 years without major change. Our point of difference with these rules and other pool rules are that this game very much enables you to play defensive and attacking. And the two shots for a foul is kind of quite distinctive and point of difference for our game. Well, let's concentrate on the action here. We've got Dylan Leary at the table at the moment, the current European champion. He's on the red balls. and Dom Cooney on the yellow. At the moment it's not showing. We should have little markers on the screen. But we can see that Dylan's going for the reds. There we go. They've popped up. Red on the right, yellow on the left. Thank you to our technicians in the studio monitoring the screens. And the other match is looking like McHill has taken a 2-0 lead against Carl Sutton. And it's a miss. Mr. Dillon, that leads the way for Dom to start strutting around the table. Have a good look. Came out of the blocks like an athlete heading out of the 100-metre dash. He was pleased to get a look at the table in this frame. I don't think that he's looking at that yellow between red and black to see if it goes down to the top left. It must go. It definitely goes. Did not touch the sides. That's very nicely played. And obviously they're the sort of skills that have brought Dom Cooney to this semi-final of this World Championship. I wouldn't expect any less. Straight into the middle, and Dom's looking quite confident to clear these last 4 yellows and black and take a 2-1 lead in this match. Very confident player. It's a lovely shot. Played with lots of top spin. All the young players out there watching, just look at the way these players cue the ball. There we go, he's playing with top again at the top of the white ball. Runs it round the angles so that he can get on that either one of those 2 yellows, whatever he prefers. Some would take the one down the end first and work their way back, whereas he's chosen to take the one in the middle and now play the angle on the yellow into the top left hand corner and come around for the black, and probably in the bottom right hand pocket. Dom Cooney making his mark on these World Championships. And Dom Cooney takes a 2-1 lead in this Men's World Championship semi-final, coming to you from the Imperial Hotel here in Blackpool, playing against his opponent Dylan Leary from Northern Ireland, who is the current European champion. Big cheerio. I think it's probably getting a little bit late. Yeah, and there's probably lots of viewers in Australia. Hopefully you're enjoying the coverage. I'm sure there's plenty watching Mick Hill, current world champion. He's quite a popular figure in Australia. I know Mick's just recently toured, and he would have met lots of Australians all around Australia. I think Mick spent a good 2 to 3 months there meeting lots of people and giving us a piece of his skills, and I know he does a lot of work with juniors over there as well when he goes, and they're all in awe of 5-time world champion Mick Hill. He's currently looks like no other frames have ticked over. It's still 2-0 over there, and of course the match that we're watching is Dom Cooney 2, Dylan Leary 1. So one of these 2 players are going to be into the World Championship final for the very first time. Another big break. I can see one ball disappeared. I'm pretty sure it was a red. And all the yellows are still on the table. And white is still on the table. So that was a fair break. We need a nomination on which ball we're going to be playing on next. And of course it's Dylan Leary, which is what he's actually potted. He broke. I think he might have that red into the middle pocket, which is... He may prefer yellows though if he can find a pot, which it looks like that's what he's going for. Yellow balls. It's a long pot to the top right hand corner which he misses, so therefore it becomes an open table. And so now he gives opportunity to Dom Cooney. So these players play without fear, you would think. And to go for a shot like that, I would have just been looking for what's the easiest pot at the table. But that's why I'm commentating, and these guys are playing in the semi-finals of the world titles, the Supreme World 8-Ball Pool Championships. Of course, the cloth that we're using is strawn. It was great to see representatives from both those companies here yesterday to have a good look at our championships. Sincerely thank them. So Dom Cooney, he's got a couple of balls on cushions, but he'd still fancy himself to pot out from here. Probably going to take this screw back and take that yellow in the top left. He's come across, he hasn't come across enough. You can see the look on his face. It didn't quite turn out the way he was planning. But he's still got a pot here. He can take that yellow into the top right hand corner instead. And then run his two cushion balls. So he wants to hold his yellow here. He hasn't bothered about holding it. He's made sure he's played up and down, which now he's finished perfect. So if he runs this yellow into the top right, he's going to finish perfect for the yellow into the top left and the black back into the top right. It all sounds complicated, but you watch how simple it is. There we go. Caresses that yellow into that top right hand pocket. And he's got perfect angle for that white to come out to keep position on black here. There we go. I'm sure that white has come out enough for the black to go into the top right hand pocket. Dom Cooney takes a 3-1 lead here in these men's World Championship singles event semi-final against Dylan Leary of Northern Ireland, and referee Richard Rhodes gathers the balls. He's going to grab the triangle now, probably put it on the table, gather those reds, pull out the yellows from the chute. The new frame to commence. These World Championships started 27 years ago, when New Zealand, Australia and England got together. And of course George Harwood was around back in those times. He was part of that inaugural year with Lance Sheen from Australia. Not quite sure who the representative was from New Zealand at the time. And a big call out to anybody watching in New Zealand. We'd like to see you back at these World Championships. This is yours truly, Joe Fanto, having the pleasure of commentating for you best I can. I don't profess to be an expert. I was a try-hard as a player. Probably a try-hard as a commentator as well, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's a nice big break. Now, has anything disappeared? The reds are all there. Quick count on the yellows. They're all there as well. Wow, what a break from an incoming player. You'd fancy yourself to pot every ball on the table in a matter of seconds.
30 seconds.
So this is Dylan Leary now. He's going to get the opportunity.
30 seconds.
Racing around the table to peg back to only trailing by one. Of course, they do have they've got to have a shot within 60 seconds, so that's plenty of time. They get a warning after 30 seconds. Of course, you see the yellow and the red markers on the screen. They've come up to indicate what colour each player's on. I guess Dom Cooney's hoping that he'll get a shot on the reds. Probably left himself a bit awkward on this. This yellow is not the easiest of pots, but he can put it into the middle pocket. But in the back of his mind, he knows that if he misses, his opponent's balls are all potable as well. But he hasn't missed. That's the difference between champions. They can wipe out any of the mental element and keep their cool, keep their cueing action going, nice and fluent. Like a golfer, you can't afford to twitch, because the slightest of deviation normally makes the cue ball not quite hit where you're supposed to, and you miss the shot. And it might sound easy, but it gets harder as the emotion grows, as you get to the tense part of matches. That's a nice pot. He's left himself on this yellow into the bottom right hand corner. He should be able to stun into that black and hold himself for putting both those yellows into the bottom right hand corner. It's a nice shot. Now he may take the yellow in the middle first. Depends on what he prefers, or he may just take the yellow bottom right and run through. No, it's easier to take that. I'd probably go that way as well. Now, does he take the yellow? Take the yellow at the top, I would say. Just hit it fine right side, bring the white back. Take this last yellow into the bottom right hand corner and stay on the black in the middle. Let's have a look and see how straight that is. But you can see how, there we go, yeah, there's a bit of an angle, but the angle's fine to run off that back cushion and back for the black in the middle. And that's great control. Got great feel for his shots, and that's nicely done. Dylan Leary certainly doesn't let Dom get away. He pegs the score back to 2 frames to 3. Dom Cooney 3, Dylan Leary 2. In a best of 19 frames race to 10 match in this Men's World Championship semi-final, coming to you from the Imperial Hotel here in Blackpool, England. A couple of major airports closest to here, Liverpool and Manchester. Most people come into Manchester. All the countries, these championships started way back on Wednesday of last week, where we played all the men's qualifiers and playoffs to the last 4. And then we had the opening ceremony on the Sunday, where all the teams arrived. So all the different age groups are playing, from under 18s right up to over 50s that we call the seniors. So we're giving opportunity for all the stars to sort of stay in the game. the development stage where we've got the juniors coming through, under 23s, then the men's teams, which you're seeing here, and for some of those older stars that want to hang around in the game and play at the highest level, they get the opportunity to play in the over 50s, which that event is certainly very, very popular. I know in Australia we started many years ago playing over 50s, where we used to enjoy some wonderful test match series with South Africa. South Africa, you know, visiting Australia, and Australia visiting South Africa. And now that's expanded into being a very popular event here at these world titles every year. So here we go. Dylan likes to break from an angle. Let's see where he hits the pack. He hits that second ball in to try and get the best reaction. As you see, many different players breaking from different parts of behind the balk, but unfortunately it looks like what we call a dry break. No balls hitting the bottom of a pocket. And now Dom Cooney, again, that's the problem. The break is just so important. It's like a serve in tennis. So Dom Cooney's going to be looking for that first pot. It's going to progress him into a break that hopefully clears the table for him. That's what he'd be thinking. He's got a nice yellow into the bottom right. He's got a couple of yellow balls over the middle and a yellow that goes into that top right. He's got a little bit of work to do on these balls at this bottom end of the table, but he's going to get cracking on those straight away. That's nicely done. He's got this yellow that he can pot it to the bottom left-hand corner and work his white out. And the way these players play, it looks elementary, but I assure you, if I was trying to pot out here, I'd find a way to mess it up. There we go. White's smack in the middle of the table, just about. Probably clear one of these balls that go in the middle pocket. He's probably looking for his next shot, and next shot after that. He even clears that red to give more space for that black to go when he eventually gets on it. Just little things like that make a difference that these top players do as part of their planning from one shot to the next. This is Dom Cooney, certainly playing like an experienced campaigner. You don't get through all the qualifiers and into the semi-final of a World Championship without having some sublime skills. Just a quick score check. All tied up at 2-all in the other match between Mick Hill and Cole Sutton. That white has gone across far enough. He appeared concerned there for a little while. He probably thought it wasn't going to go far enough, but it certainly did. He's got perfect angle to just pot that yellow, come round for the black into the middle pocket. And Dom Cooney in the early stages of the semi-final takes a 4-2 lead against Dylan Leary of Northern Ireland. And the referee steps in, Richard Rhodes, collecting the balls. Again, a full set of reds on the table and looking for the rest of the yellows in the chute. Going to gather the balls. Wherever you might be watching, big cheerio to everyone in Australia. I'm sure there's plenty of viewers. I'd say most people would be on the Mick Hill table watching the defending champion. But got some, I can tell you that the skill level on this table is very high between these two very accomplished players in Dom Cooney and Dylan Leary. Yeah, Dylan Leary, he had a wonderful European Championships in Killarney in Ireland this year, back in February, which I was privileged to be at. I enjoyed commentating quite a few matches there. So here's Dom Cooney. He looks like he's gone a bit wider this time to break. He was more closer to the centre before, and I think I saw a ball shoot into that bottom right hand pocket. Now top left hand pocket, another ball disappeared. So there's a red potted and there's a yellow potted. Let's see what the nomination is. I think he's nominating reds. That red must go into that middle pocket, I would say. The way he's lining up, and he makes no mistake. Dom Cooney's on the red balls and Dylan's on the yellow. Just trying to prompt technicians in the studio to put our yellow and red markers on the screen for the sake of the viewers. And I think all the balls might disappear rather quickly here. Before we know it, we won't need any markers on the screen because it'll be the start of the next frame. This is probably shaping up to be, there we go, there's your reds and yellows on the screen. Thank you. Down it goes. I think this is shaping up to be the fastest frame of this match so far. Here we go, and the black into the middle. Dom Cooney is certainly making his mark on this match. He leads this match 5 frames to 2 against Dylan Leary of Northern Ireland. He's leading the current European champion. So Dom's certainly getting his money's worth in this tournament, having had to play through all the qualifiers to make his way to this last 4. And starting to get closer to the shot in the final of this World Men's Championship singles event. And of course we can see that the score in the other match between Mick Hill and Cal Sutton is 2-all.
Any top player is going to be clearing up from this position, but Mick in particular really doesn't let many of these opportunities slide.
Yellows. So he's got 6 balls to pot here. Taking a little bit of time. A little bit more time than what I normally see Mick Hill take, but back again. Be great to know what goes on in their minds sometimes when you're watching their body language. Sometimes it's just composing yourself. Here we go, Dylan Leary. We're watching him break from that extreme side of the balk line. It's our second ball. And this time it's worked for him. He's got a yellow. Yellow. But I suspect he doesn't have a good clean pot here. Again, he might take reds. So we're just watching Mick Hill to see if he hadn't quite cleared. I can see on the other screen that Mick Hill is sort of going through that clearance cautiously. So Dylan has nominated reds. So if he misses, the table turns back, but he pots the reds. So now he's on reds. His opponent's going to be on yellows. Technical team are quick to get those colours up. Thank you. And of course, these live streaming brought to you by WEPF Live Stream and all the technical work done by Yvonne Armitage. And what a wonderful job she does, setting up all these cameras. Get some fancy overhead shots sometimes. Tees up the studios for the commentary. But of course you need to get some physical assistance from her able assistant table engineer and engineer in general, Mr. Fixit, Stan Grant, for these World Championships. It's a wonderful team of workers that make this all happen from the English Pool Association, led by Tournament Director Alan Benton, ably assisted by George Harwood, who's been around forever, and of course all the team, Perky or Mike Perkins, the top table. Dylan Leary. He's gone for a double.
Yellow balls in play.
He's actually missed that by a fair bit. He's got to be careful not to let Dom get too far in front. Because Dom's oozing with confidence at the moment. It wouldn't surprise me if he's able to turn this visit to the table as well with a clearance. That yellow doubles back into the right hand pocket and then shifts the other yellow towards his left hand bottom pocket, and there's your clearance if he can get this first pot. There we go. So now I just let Dom show me the way. He's got an awkward bridge over that red if he goes for that yellow into the bottom left, so he may not take that yet. May take the yellow to the right of the cue ball. He's going to play. Yeah, that's a beautiful shot. Well controlled. He just did that so easily. He's shifted the red. He's on that yellow in the middle now. And what would have looked as an unlikely pot out for many players, Dom Cooney, who's come through the qualifiers, is making it evolve before our eyes. He's looking so composed. Dom Cooney, is he a future world champion? Is he the 2019 world champion? I'm sure all there's a couple of players will have their say, but he's certainly looking like he's got the skill set and the temperament to go all the way he's playing at the moment. That's a beautiful clearance. I can't imagine this black is not going to go into that middle pocket on the left of screen. And there we go. Dom Cooney, who's made his way all the way through the qualifying events, takes a 6-2 lead against Dylan Leary of Northern Ireland, the current European champion. Looks like they might be taking a break the way they've all moved away from screen. Of course, the referee wants to get the balls ready for the next frame. But this match is certainly needs to be rescued by Dylan Leary at the moment, because he trails by 4 frames. In a best of 19, it's a race to 10, and 4 frames just seem to be whizzing past when these players get a roll on. And Mick Hill took that frame in the other match. He leads 3-2 now against Carl Sutton of England. So the referee having a good look at the balls. Looks like the players didn't go too far away. So Dom Cooney's still at the table. He's got a break, he's going more extreme. He goes extreme left. Not too extreme, but I think he still hits the head ball. Yeah, he hits the head ball. Gets a good reaction. But all the yellows are up and all the reds are up. So it's disheartening when you get down, you break the balls, and you give them a nice wallop. They're all spread, and nothing goes down. So yellow into the middle. So that must be Dylan Leary at the table, I suspect. That yellow heading for that top right hand pocket. That's Dylan now. He's got a couple of balls that he can pot there. So the yellows are on. He would be thinking he's a good thing. So Dylan Leary, he certainly would be, you wouldn't be hoping he'd be confident he can clear these balls. I don't imagine he'd be panicking yet. In fact, I don't think these players ever panic. They just continue to keep queuing as smoothly as they possibly can. I guess he's got a little bit to negotiate with the black, because remember, he's only got one shot because it was only a just turnover of the control of the table. Because there was no foul, it was just no pot off the break for Dom Cooney. I'm told Dom Cooney's from Cambridge here in England. Same area as Phil Harrison. For those of you that know the top players, Phil Harrison's been around for a long time, great ambassador to our game, also a world champion. So I'm sure he's getting practice against some pretty fierce competition here in the UK. That's the benefit that they have over here. All the UK players have got the tours that they can play in, whereas players from Australia, they get some good competition and they certainly very competitive, but we don't quite have the same regular high-level competitiveness that they have here. Now that has mucked up plans for Dylan. He's got to try and pull off a big shot here to win this frame, which is not what he would have liked. He's trying to find the angle to go off the cushion and put that black into the middle pocket. Middle left pocket. Here's an aerial shot. That's a great shot. That's a brilliant shot for us all to see. Dylan Leary pulls off a beauty to stay in touch at 3-6 or try and fight his way back into this frame. So Dylan Leary of Northern Ireland, the current European champion, plays one of those brilliant shots that we all love to see from time to time. But he trails this match 3-6 against Tom Cooney, who had to fight his way through the qualifiers from Cambridge here in England.
The momentum shift.
So we've got three English gentlemen in the semi-finals, and we've got
deeper structure to the match.
Dylan Leary from Northern Ireland flying the flag.
Not able to get prime
rest of us.
Position there. He's now left himself in a position where he's got a slightly more difficult pot to keep this going.
We can't keep those English boys down, unfortunately.
Envisage that causing a problem, but
that's good. That's what inspires everybody to come here to play against the best in the world. That's a miss by Cole.
And that was always the problem, although
wouldn't be happy
you
with
don't
that
really
sort
expect
of
a
miss.
player to miss from that position. It was a missable shot, that one, and it was the first
You can't
missable
afford
shot
to do that with Mick Hill.
of the clearance.
He'd be looking at these yellows and saying, yeah, I should be able to put out from here.
always pretty close to a worst case scenario when you miss with only one or two of your balls left on the table, because you've cleared the table up for your opponent in the sense that there's less traffic around to get in their way.
The people's champion.
Also
5 times world
landed
champion.
McHill on the most difficult of the balls
Will this be number
remaining
6?
on the table, so
You just wonder, will anybody
wishes
ever
to, he has the luxury of
rise
being
and
able to
achieve
remove
that
this one first.
again? In any sport or any involvement, to have 5 world championships is absolutely amazing to be able to achieve it 5 times. I remember when he'd won 3, there was a few players on 3.
Play that with a degree of pace. He's
and
already
we
potted
always
the ball down
thought
that cushion
that's
that
gonna
he
be
was trying to
pretty
cover
hard
the
to
pocket
beat.
with, so he's aware that that pocket is relatively
Now
generous.
McHill's setting his own standards.
There's always a debate about how generous these pockets are. Sometimes
I'm
when
very
you see
pleased to have him
shots hit
playing
slowly, like the one that Mick played in the previous frame,
our
and they
discipline
appear to
of
drop from very
Paul.
improbable positions, you talk yourself into thinking that the pockets are very loose.
Great champion and a wonderful ambassador for our game.
The truth is somewhere in between. Supreme tables are pretty
He's the
consistent.
number 1
They've been
seed, and so he should
the
be for
gold
this
standard
tournament,
for tournament tables for
playing the number 3 seed
well
in
over a
Cal
decade
Sutton.
now. Often it's the cloth actually that makes the last bit of difference. A fast new tournament cloth that's just been ironed and brushed tends to be
So
more
McHill's
generous,
just-
particularly with balls hit slowly down the
He's
cushions.
sort of,
Just nothing
he
really
leaves
to
no stone unturned.
impede
He's
the balls, and they do tend to fall in off the jaw a bit more readily.
as much as you think he'd be able to whiz
Older
through
club tables,
the way the
even if you
balls
get
are set up,
exactly the
he's
same
taking
table
his
in a club,
time.
just don't tend to be quite so forgiving of those
It's a
shots
big
down the
lesson for
cushion.
young players. No shot's too easy. You've got to concentrate, play each shot. The nice, calm, smooth cueing action.
Up until last year, it was the
So if
practice
there's
to
anybody's
play the
cueing action that you want to watch, it's
latter
McHill's.
streamed or televised stages of this tournament on a slightly bigger table. It was played on an 8-foot Supreme table.
And how still he is when he's
There are always
just before he takes his shot.
advocates and critics for that idea.
Making sure he's not touching that
There
ball
were
underneath him.
Good reasons why it was played on a bigger table, and in some way it presented a bigger challenge to the players.
Every shot he
I
takes
think
is
we've reached what is probably
well
ultimately the
rehearsed.
more
They've
logical
played
position now,
thousands of
playing the
times
entire
before.
tournament on the same size table, with no real
Oops, is that
other
Cooney gonna
circumstances
touch
in
that red
pool or
ball?
in any other cue sports where
I don't think so.
you switch equipment midway through the tournament, so it was always a slight
If he had,
anomaly,
he wouldn't have
albeit
felt it
one
either,
that was
and, was on the
done
blind
for
side
good
of the
reason.
referee, but I'm quite sure he didn't.
Since we switched to these 7-foot
That's
tables the
lovely,
whole way
just stun
through, I think
across,
some
and
of
he makes it
McHill's
look as
advantage
easy as
has
you
been
like.
neutralised.
And McHill,
Generally regarded as the best potter in
defending
the field.
world champion, takes a 5-2 lead against
Bigger
Carl
tables
Sutton
gave him a
of
bit more
England, number
real
1
estate to
seed
play
versus
with.
the number 3
Hasn't
in
been
this
hampered
world
too much by it, though.
men's
He's still the defending
singles
champion.
semi-final.
Still marching
Coming to you from the
seemingly at the
Imperial
moment
Hotel
inexorably towards
here in
this year's
Blackpool,
final.
England. Some 400 plus players have been through the place over
Straightforward
the last
opportunity ultimately he was offered at
week
the
and
end
a
of that
half.
frame, but you've still got to pot the balls.
in the middle of
Did
the
absolutely
event.
what
We
he
had a
needed to there.
Masters singles for men's and ladies.
So, the referee
And,
racks the balls up.
another
It's
great
McHill that leads
success
Carl
there.
Sutton by
So,
5 frames to 2.
We're very proud of these World Championships. They're run by the English Pool Association, our hosts, and endorsed by the World 8-Ball Pool Federation. Big welcome if you've just joined us watching these 2 men's semi-finals. Hope you're enjoying them. You're watching some of the best players in the world play 2-shot pool, as it's been known for many years. In the heart of where lots of 2-shot pools is played all over the country. In England, you're watching the current world champion and
McHill
5
just taking a
times world
glance at the
champion Nick Hill
pack as he walked around the table, just to
line
make
up
sure
for the
that they're all
break.
set up to his liking.
So he's
And
taking
agreed
a,
that they are.
a left
And that will get us
extreme
underway
left
in frame 8.
queuing position. Of course, a couple of reds
Well,
have disappeared.
Cue ball
A yellow
tracking
just
towards
about
that corner
disappeared.
pocket. It wasn't kicked by anything, that was just
So
a
only
mistake
4
by me.
reds still on the table. Can I find the cue ball though?
2 red balls potted, but 2
That
red and a
disappeared
white
as
as the
well.
final count, so it's Carl Sutton
So all those
invited
balls
to
have
the
been
table.
potted.
And if the last frame was an important one, this is an even more important one.
Courtesy McHill for his
Really can't
opponent,
afford to slip any
unfortunately.
further behind in this match.
But Carl Sutton won't mind.
Oh,
Carl
that's a
Sutton has
very
missed.
uncharacteristic error.
What?
An error which came
You
about
cannot
purely because he
afford
was
to
focused on
miss
the cannon on the
opportunities
right-hand
like
side of the
that
table.
if you're going to have
He's trying to
any
inject
chance
as much pace as
whatsoever
possible
against
into the cue
McHugh.
ball.
Cole, what would he be
Cannon out, that
feeling
cluster
right
on the
now?
right. It's never a good feeling though when you've got
I
ball
know
in
they're
hand and
probably
you miss the
mates,
pot. You had the option to put the cue ball anywhere in the ball carrier.
Cole would be
Make
saying, I
whatever
think
angle
I
he
needed
wanted
to
for that
take a little
shot,
bit
so
more time over that shot.
hard to defend the miss.
And he's just got to watch McHugh take his normal pensive self and
Starting to feel
just strut
now
round
that
the
Mick is
table
getting the
and
upper
work
hand
out
of this match. In the early going, Carl was holding his own.
what he's going to
He's not
do.
really made too many mistakes. It's just, as you could have imagined, he just wasn't going to get that many chances, and he certainly doesn't want to be throwing away chances
He's
like the
still at
one he's just
nomination
had.
stage. So, open table.
So it was an open
So he
table,
was
of
able to
course.
play that
McHill
red
potted
onto
two
the
reds off the
yellow.
break, but then went in off. So the table
And
was
he
open
actually
at that
nominated
point.
the yellows.
Carl attempted to
So
pot a
he's
yellow
gonna
but
be on
missed
the
it. So
yellows.
table still open, which is why Mick was able to play the shot that he did.
So,
That was quite a bonus
if I
in
was
that
his opponent,
situation,
I've
of
only
course,
got,
because otherwise
you know, 5 balls to pot.
there was no easy
And we're
path
still
to
even,
clearance with
but I
those
don't
balls
think
tied
so.
up.
Not with McHill at the table. Those balls
So
appeared
just a nervous
congested
look. Is he on
and hard to pot.
the yellow down
Just
the right-hand side.
The most delicate of shots where he's just potted that ball, run the wad off the cushion and
Very
just
tight at
separated
the
those
edge.
two. Now, all of a sudden, looks like a clearance.
Well, you can see from above, you can see most of the yellow, but I think he just, well, not
Because
sure
that
he
yellow
quite
goes
see
into
enough
that opposite
pot
pocket.
it. Probably could if he
In fact, we can take, there's about
applied a
3
little bit of
options to
side to the
pot
cue
here.
ball, but it wouldn't really be that desirable to be playing that shot with side because you're not going to be able to get position
3
if
or
he does
4.
that.
So we're staying with this
So if he's on this
McHill
one to the
Cole
left
Sutton
corner,
match
that
at the
won't matter
moment.
anyway.
That's a beautiful pot.
Deliberately played that
Okay,
with a
so
lot of
he's
pace because he
dislodged
knew he was
those,
going to cannon into
those
the other
2
one.
yellows.
Didn't want to make the mistake of leaving the
They've,
white stuck to
moved
the
from where
yellow,
they were,
so
but
tried to
cannon is on
get as
one ball onto the other. Now we're back to the Don Cooney Dylan Leary match, and Dylan takes that extreme right hand side break position. I'd say he's going to hit that second ball. Yes, again. But reds have been potted. There's 2 reds missing. All yellows are still on the table. So I would certainly take reds if 2 balls are gone. I wouldn't hesitate. 2 balls less to pot. But of course we know that that's not the case with these very skilled players. They'll take the balls that they think they can clear, even if there's an extra couple of balls from the opposite denomination. So, yellows it is.
Yellow balls in play.
Classic example. So now there's 6 yellows to go. His opponent's only got 5, but he's preferred the yellows. This is Dylan Leary of Northern Ireland, the current European champion, and I was privy to commentate his final. We played exceptionally well. It's a nice put on that yellow. So you probably clear those 3 yellow balls at that balk end of the table now. And Dylan defeated Parib Singh in the previous quarter-final. Patab Singh as Don Cooney defeated
30 seconds.
He was another qualifier. Of course, we're told that Dom Cooney's from Cambridge. Phil Harrison, part of the world. So he's certainly got some good opposition to have a hit with. As Dylan Leary tries to make sure that he stays in touch in this match, because he's trailing by 3 frames in a race to 10. And we know that these frames tick over very quickly once these players get going. We haven't seen any defensive frames yet in this match. No tactical frames where pockets have been covered. So those are the school of thought that think that we need to find rules that are a lot more attacking. The answer is that if you're good enough, you can attack as well as any other cue sports in this game.
30 seconds.
But if you give your opponent an opportunity, then there's still scope to play defensive. So that's the point of difference, I believe, with our rules. Of course, they're known as the world rules. Some people will know them as the 2-shot rules because it's the only type of pool that I know of that gives 2 shots for a penalty, for a foul. This live streaming brought to you by WEPF Live Stream. And our technical director, Yvonne Armitage. So Dylan Leary takes that yellow over the top right hand corner. Okay, he's got this yellow. Let's try and see how he's going to do this. Is he going to cut this back into the middle pocket, middle right, and make his way back? Or is he going to pot into the bottom right hand pocket and make sure he puts enough work on his bottom on his white to take it back to the top end of the table to put that black into the middle? Playing with top. He's cut it back and his whites run round beautifully. Just missed everything. Did not crash into anything and found its way back so that he can be on black. And Dylan Leary takes a score to 4 frames to 6. He trails in this match against Dom Cooney, who's a qualifier from Cambridge. This match is Dom Cooney 6, Dylan Leary from Northern Ireland 4. Dylan Leary, of course, the current European champion. Which one of these players is going to go through to the final? And whoever it is that goes through, they're going to be playing against either Mick Hill or Cole Sutton, both of England. And in that match, we have Mick Hill 6, Cole Sutton 3. Mick Hill, of course, 5 times world champion. Will this be the year that Mick Hill is defeated in a final? Of course, the referee is Richard Rhodes, racking up the balls at the moment. It's Men's World Championships semi-final, coming to you from the Imperial Hotel here in Blackpool, England. The Supreme World Championships. They are Supreme tables, wonderful tables that have been prepared for these championships all the way through. Long-time sponsor. They've stayed very close to the World 8-Ball Pool Federation. We sincerely thank them. And of course the cloth, the Strong cloth, also sponsors. Representatives from both companies were with us yesterday. We're very grateful that they come and take an interest in our World Championships. And of course balls have disappeared here. That's a great break. We've got balls missing on the yellows. All reds are still on the table, so yellow balls potted. What will be the choice? Not one ball touching a cushion. He's got two yellow balls over pockets.
Yellow balls in play. 30 seconds.
And of course it's Dom Cooney. He'd be licking his lips, I think. I'm sure he'll find his way to this black if he pots all those the 5 balls. So he's taking the... Oh, there's plenty of balls to pot. I thought he was trying to leave himself on the yellow for the top right-hand corner, and he's still on that if he wants to. Some players have the theory you sort of start from one end and work your way back to the other. That might well be the case here. It looks like that's the principle here. He's going to take that yellow at that end of the table first. Comes back, sort of hesitating a bit. Which one's he going to take? Is he going to take the yellow closest to the white into the middle? It looks like he's going to take the yellow into the middle left rather than the yellow closest to the white. Of course the tricky part's going to be well, tricky part for me, but I'm sure it's not a tricky part for Dom. So now he's got this, take this yellow into the left middle, and then he'll leave himself on that yellow to the top right hand corner, but I'd say he probably wants to leave himself as straight as possible. He's taking that now. I'm surprised, but I'm sure I'll learn something here. So now he's got this yellow into the bottom left, and he'll just stun across for the black in the bottom right, I would say. Let's see. Played that nice and controlled. Nothing to chance. Absolutely brilliant. Gets himself in behind that red. Make sure that red's out the way. 2 inches away from the black to bring it into this bottom right hand corner. There we go. That's how we do it. And Dom Cooney takes a 7-4 lead in this semi-final against Dylan Leary of Northern Ireland. Dom Cooney 7, Dylan Leary 4. In the best of 19 frames, race to 10. This men's World Championship semi-final, the Supreme World 8-Ball Pool Championships. Of course you can see the World 8-Ball Pool Federation logo there, just over the table, which the referee's going to cover most of it in a minute while he racks the balls. Of course the World 8-Ball Pool Federation oversees these championships, which are hosted by the English Pool Association, led by Tournament Director Alan Benton. Big cheerio wherever you're watching all over the world. I'm enjoying commentating for you. Yours truly, Joe Fanto. Hopefully there's plenty of viewers in Australia and in the Southern Hemisphere. I think I'm not mistaken in saying there's probably 4 of the best players in the world playing in these 2 semi-finals at the moment. South Africa, some of the African countries. You're watching some brilliant pool by Dom Cooney, who's had to make his way through all the qualifiers at the moment, leading 7-4 against Dylan Leary, the current European champion. And of course on the other table you've got the 5 times world champion Mick Hill playing Carl Sutton of England, a very well accomplished player in Carl Sutton who's been playing in the England side for quite a few years. Okay, another big break. We don't have any small breaks in this at this level, but I don't think there's any balls missing this time. No, and the cue balls on the table as well. Black hasn't been potted off the break. Of course, if the black is potted, we simply have a re-rack, because we try and encourage players to for the big break. That was one of the big promotions where 4 balls must hit a cushion to make it very attacking off the break, starting from the beginning. So it looks like it's a red ball potted. This is Dom Cooney at the table. Dom Cooney from Cambridge here in England. see it there tucked in close to the cushion, but it may even sneak into that middle pocket if you get the right position. Fancies himself with these reds. I guess a big question of how will he get onto the black, or I'm sure it'll double back into the opposite middle pocket. It's frames like this that I like watching, because normally I'll learn something as to how to get position into those tight spots, or how to promote that black out of there at some stage. I certainly do not claim to be an expert, although I've watched many pool games. Probably had the best seat in the house on many of these finals over the last 23 World Championships. I've been privileged to be at the last 23, including this one. Yeah, all the way from Oz, for those of you that don't know. We love our sports in Australia, and I can tell you Australian pool players are very keen to compete. They've been travelling every year to these World Championships, along with all the other countries, of course. Everyone makes sacrifice to be part of their chosen sport, and great credit to all the African nations as well.
Yellow ball's in play.
All the team events commenced here on Sunday with a wonderful opening ceremony that saw all the teams march in to the playing of their national anthem. There was a big announcement made of potential to move forward with China and expand our game, at least expand our relationships for the time being, and see what develops from there. We're very thankful to the professional snooker body and Jason Ferguson for bringing together that relationship and giving us the opportunity to take it from here and see what develops for all of us. So this is Dylan Leary. So this has turned into a little bit of a tighter frame, probably the tightest frame we've had so far. So Dom Cooney, who's on the red balls here. I'm not sure what shot he's going to try here. Whether he's going to try and cut this ball off the cushion back into the bottom right hand corner
30 seconds.
and break out the black as well at the same time. That's exactly what he tried, but he didn't break the black. Of course, McHill had a bit of a scare in the quarterfinals by the look. He defeated Adam Davies 9-8. Cal Sutton had a close one too. He won 9-7 against Dave Fernandez. So there's been some top players that we can truly say we've got the best in the world here playing this game. Dave Leary now. He's got an opportunity now. He can take this frame if he's playing at his best. He was in scintillating form in Killarney and Ireland for the Europeans in February. I won't try and predict which way he'll go. He's got he can run the train here of the yellow onto yellow into the bottom left hand pocket. So that's come off. He's got balls over middle pockets that he can pot. Although he can't get to that yellow on the left hand pocket close to the black. When that gets potted, it may well be that the black will be disturbed and come out into the open. It may take a fine yellow into the right hand pocket to keep this break going. Off the top cushion, it might even run in and disturb the yellow and black. Just depends. Some players like to not disturb because you're relying on the resulting lie. I thought he might be bridging over a ball, but he's not. And he's missed it. He's overcut it. So he played that white with the right hand side to make it come back, and that's probably what caused the miss. Because, you know, one would probably be surprised that he's missed that pot. But when you look at the work that the white did when it hit that top cushion, it was played with the right hand side and it came back to this side of the table, obviously because he wanted to be on these two yellows down this bottom end of the table, and that's what can cause the miss. The white ball deviates
30 seconds.
when you're actually going for the object ball. So this is called timeout here because of the player having a shot on the other table. So this is Tom Cooney at the table now. He's on reds, and the reds are all in the open. The only issue he's going to have is with the black, which he tried to disturb then and it didn't. He was unsuccessful. He's seeing whether it goes, but I think it's touching that yellow. If we get an aerial shot, we should be able to see if that black goes. Yeah, he's having a good look at it. He may even try and pot this red that's over the pocket and work his way into that black to get it to disturb.
30 seconds.
Bit of right hand side, I think will take him into the yellow and black. There he goes. No, too short. So now, plan B. He can pot these two balls, I think. That red will go past the red into the top right hand pocket, I suspect. But he hasn't got a full pocket to aim for. Or it's the finest of cuts into the middle pocket. And if he does that, he may well get the break of
30 seconds.
getting into the black. No. He keeps trying. Keeps trying. He's got the pot, but that black is still entrenched there next to the yellow. So he's trying to work it out. I suspect he may try and play a safety here, possibly play red into that yellow closest to it and leave the white behind the red and that yellow to try and leave a restrictive shot for his opponent. And his opponent, of course, is Leary. There we go. Not quite the way he would have liked to have left it. But I don't think the defensive game is Dom's forte somehow. He's great to watch because he's very attacking. Let's see how the score's going in the other match. It's McHill 7, Cole Sutton 4. So McHill making his way to the required 10 to get him into the final. And in fact the scores are identical. At the moment it's a Dom Cooney McHill final. But I'm sure Dylan Leary and Cole Sutton have got something to say about that. I expect them both to fight back like good warriors. Dylan's going to try and take this to the... He just simply played to snooker here, keep his opponent from winning this frame. Looking for the opportunity to get two shots if he can. I'm sure Dom will try and get out of this snooker. Probably try and work off a couple of cushions. Play into the red, and he'll probably play firm to try and get that red into the open.
30 seconds.
If he hits it. So that's missed. So now Dylan Leary's got 2 shots on yellows. Is he going to take the double now? That yellow closest to the red. Yes, he is. Played some great doubles. This one's no exception. He didn't try and force it. Simply knew the angle. Played it firm, but not get carried away. Gave it every chance. So Dylan Leary should get a little bit closer to Dom. Scores 4-7. I expect it's going to go 5-7. Oh, we would have liked to have nudged that just a little bit more, but I think it sneaks in. Oh, not quite, but he's got 2 shots. Dylan Leary of Northern Ireland, 5. Dom Cooney from Cambridge, 7. Dom Cooney's come through the qualifiers to make his way to the semi-final of this men's world championship, coming to you from Blackpool in England. He's currently leading. Dylan Leary, Northern Ireland, European champion, 7-5. This is best of 19. It's a race to 10. So wherever you're watching from around the world, a big warm welcome. It's our pleasure to bring it to you. You may be watching this match, or I imagine there's plenty watching 5 times world champion McHugh, but you're not missing anything if you're watching this match as well, because both these matches are high quality, and I'd have to say you're probably looking at 4 of the best players in the world right at this moment, and worthy semi-finalists. That match looks like the score has changed, is 8-4 to McHugh against Carl Sutton. And the referee that we're seeing at the moment, not quite seeing the front of him, but that's the position they take when they rack the balls. It's Richard Rhodes. All very professional referees, and they take their refereeing seriously here in England, like they do in many other parts of the world. I know South Africa is very proud of their referees, and they have, really good systems in place for bringing them through. They're all very proud to wear the black and white. Did any balls disappear? Quick count. Yellows appear short, but they're not. All on the table. So it's a dry break. Dry break. Yellows look like. Well, reds are good too. Reds are not even anywhere near any of the cushions. Whereas yellows have got 3 balls on cushions, but all potable. And what will it be? What will be the choice? So, we've attempted reds and missed. That's a rarity where the breaker leaves a dry break in this day and age. Gets a chance to come back to the table, still with an open table. The break is also important in this game now. It gives you the opportunity to get the upper hand and take control of the frame. So that's a nice pot into the middle pocket by Dom Cooney. He'd fancy himself now. These 6 reds are very much out in the open and very potable. Here we go. Top left hand pocket. Nice assertive shot. Can take this in the middle. it's still there. It's not a problem. He's got the black out. Got a nice angle on this red. Red to the bottom right hand pocket. Take his white out. Spotted white, of course. So this red into the bottom left hand pocket. Take his white to the middle of the table. Clear those last two reds and the black in the bottom right. Nicely done, still in control. Probably would have liked to have been a bit further up and a bit closer to those reds, but this is more than adequate. He can take that red into the left hand middle pocket and maybe take that red into the right hand middle pocket if he stays the other side. No, he's going to come back. He's put work on that white. You would have seen how put right hand side so that when he hit the cushion, that white kicked to come across. Nice control. Gone just a fraction further he would have liked. He would have liked to have left himself straight, but this is straight enough for a player of Dom's calibre. That's another black put away by Dom Cooney here at the Imperial Hotel here in Blackpool. These World Championships. Dom Cooney leads this match 8-5 against Dylan Leary, the current European champion from Northern Ireland. Dom Cooney from Cambridge here in England. And there's the picture of 7 yellow balls still on the table. It's been a common scene where one player gets the opportunity and dishes the other balls and leaves the opponent with 7 balls. And here we go. So Dom Cooney is only 2 frames away from a spot in the final. World Championship final, and score check from the other match is Mick 8, Carl Sutton 4. So it's shaping up for whoever wins to having a crack at 5 times world champion Mick Hill. All 4 of these finalists are certainly living up to their to worthy semi-finalists in this world championship. So we're going extreme right. I suspect this is Dylan Leary breaking from that position. He'll probably hit that second ball. He's sticking with that formula. Although it's... oh yes, yellow. Yellow drops. He needs his frame rather badly. He doesn't want to get allow Dom Cooney to get to that 9th frame and be one off winning the match. He's got to try and peg it back one shot at a time. Try and hold his nerve. Easier said than done. So yellow into the middle, left. Nice shot. Played with great control there to hold his cue ball. So he's got all those yellows very potable there, and the black is in the open. He'll be counting on this frame to peg back to 8-6. Currently trading 8-5, trailing 8-5. Nice and slow, not trying to do anything fancy. Probably take the yellow into the middle pocket now that he's got a nice straight shot on that yellow. And then I suspect you'll play the cannon of yellow onto... no, he's going to take this yellow first because he doesn't want to play the cannon, I suspect. And He's come across the other side. So which way will he go first? Will he take that yellow in the middle right now? Walking around the table, trying to picture all 4 shots as they're going to evolve from here. Has he got it? Yes. Looked like he'd overcut it there for a minute. Now he's going for the middle. Should be able to stun back and then just take that last yellow to the bottom left hand pocket, leave himself a nice straight shot so that he can screw back slightly and take the black into either the middle pocket or to the top right hand pocket. Dylan Leary at the table caresses that ball into the middle pocket. Has a good look at that yellow, just got to be potted into the bottom left, working out where he wants his white to finish for his preference as to how to pot that last black. He's playing with a reasonable amount of bottom by the looks, but doesn't overplay it, just basically plays a stun shot in the end. He's going to take that black to the top right hand corner. And he's got it. Dylan Leary of Northern Ireland is 6 frames, drawing closer to Dom Cooney, who's 8 frames. He leads this match 8-6. The semi-finals match at the Men's World Championship of 8-ball pool, the Supreme World 8-ball pool championships, coming to you from Blackpool in England for 2019. Looks like Dom Cooney puts a cue down. He's going to go for a bit of a break. And let's see the action from the other match between Mick Hill and Carl Sutton. Still no change in the score, still Mick Hill 8 and Carl Sutton 4. While we have Richard Rhodes racking up the balls on screen. So these World Championships started many years ago, back in 1992. The streaming is brought to you courtesy of the World 8-Ball Pool Federation live stream. Technical team of Yvonne Armitage. She's the brains trust of beaming the streaming across the world. Attaching all the wires to the right computers and the right screens so that I can just walk up to the microphone and flick the switch. So the referee's giving it a little bit of time to try and make sure those balls are touching. I haven't seen anybody inspect the racks yet today. They must all be happy with the referees and the way they've been racking. I'd say quite often the triangles have got a fair bit to do with it. They make the job easier if they hold those balls in nice and firm. Score hasn't changed yet in the Mick Hill match, still 8-4 between Mick Hill and Carl Sutton. So it's 2 seeded players in the other semi-final. You've got Mick Hill, the number 1 seed, playing the number 3 seed. Both these players in the final that we're watching is unseeded. Dom Cooney has played his way all the way through the qualifiers. Dylan Leary from Northern Ireland, current European champion. Wow, I spoke too soon. This is the first time that one of the players has queried the rack. He's obviously found that he doesn't think a couple of the balls were making contact. I've always tried to work out why makes a lot of difference, but players seem to feel that if all the balls are touching, that gives you the maximum interaction of balls and the greatest probability that you're going to sink a ball off the break. Of course, the rack now, the 2 red balls must be at the front, and normally you've got yellows forming a J as part of the pack, and 2 of those yellow balls have to be in the bottom left hand corner. All the rest are just red, yellow, alternating. As you can, got a beautiful picture there of the rack. Take a photo of it, that's the way you need to set them up. Okay, breaking from extreme left now. That's a big break, but he actually hits the head ball compared to Dylan hitting that second ball in when he breaks from extreme right. And unfortunately, no balls potted. So, Dylan Leary has the opportunity to come in and draw just a little bit closer to Dom. Let him know that he's coming. The match is not over yet. Big cheerio for all of those of you watching in the Southern Hemisphere. Hi to the grandkids if you're watching, Isabella and Jack. They love the fact that Grandpa Joe taught them the spirit of the game. So they throw that on their parents now anytime they've got a dispute. We want the spirit of the game. That's what should happen in our game as well. I must admit the spirit of the game has been adhered to pretty well here at these championships, like we always expect. So, Dom Cooney is at the table. He's got the table straight back.
30 seconds.
He's got a chance now to just put a... If he can get to that 9th frame, it's always a good feeling to get 1 frame away from winning, and then making that asserted effort to just get over the line. Of course, he's tried to put that off the red. You saw the intention there to disturb those 2 so that he clears the yellow, and I think he's been successful. You can't quite tell from here, but I suspect that that yellow at the top end of the table now goes into that top right hand corner, and he's gone again. Now this time I think he's mucked it up. I think now it doesn't go past. So changing fortunes. So he's just going to deal with it straight away. Made sure it's all clear now, and tried to leave the white in a position where his opponent's not going to pot a ball. It's going to take a good pot anyway. So we're starting to draw to the conclusion of these matches. Looks like Cole Sutton just drew a frame back to trail 5-8 against Mick Hill, the 5-time world champion and defending world champion. And of course it's a little bit closer here. Dylan Leary trails 6 games to 8. We can have a tactical frame this one. We haven't seen any tactical frames yet in these 14 frames. Looks like the 15th might be. They can't make it too complicated because I'll start to lose me with the tactics. But I guess a picture tells 1,000 words. We'll work it out. So he's negotiated his way out of a snooker on that yellow. So it looks like Dylan Leary's going to make his move on the reds. Probably try and take command of that pocket. Don't know that it's that easy from up there. Maybe he'll play red cannon onto red, pot the opponent's ball, give a deliberate foul to try and take control of that pocket and in theory take control of the frame, but I don't think he likes his chances of achieving that. Now he's got something going to hit the cushion. I think that's our first foul where a ball hasn't hit a cushion. A bit hard because we couldn't hear the sound of the call, but we'll look out to see whether Dom Cooney gets 2 shots here. So he's going to go in and certainly, ooh, yes, he's definitely got 2 shots. We called that right, but I guess he would have been hoping that he'd potted that yellow with the first shot, because he still would have had 2 then. Instead he's got to go to plan B. He's got that yellow that he can pot across to the left hand bottom pocket, and then if he does that he can come back in and negotiate these 2 balls in the right hand pocket. He's going there first. He's got a clear shot at yellow that he can play inside that red, and as he's dislodging the red from clearing that red away, it should run off the yellow and pot the yellow, and then itself remain over the pocket. No, plan was good, but it didn't pot. So his opponent gets an opportunity, and opportunity he needs, because he's trailing 6-8, getting to the business end of this match. Dylan Leary, which red will he take first? He's got plenty to choose from, but he needs a pot with the first shot. He's looking at playing cannons off balls by the looks. Where's his white gone? Okay, so he's played it tight. White, the objective was to play a very defensive shot, which he's done that. I think it's been called a total snooker, so he can't hit that yellow ball at the top end of the cushion. He's got 2 balls over pockets in Dom Mooney. He's going for the yellows. He can try and play out of the snooker. What's he going to do? That's a great shot. That's a brilliant shot. He's obviously played work off. He's worked the yellow because that. Sorry, he's worked the white ball because that did not come off that cushion with a natural angle. He's had to play probably left-hand side so that it comes off, so that it doesn't come off at the angle of incidence. As we know, a little bit of geometry, angle of incidence equals the angle of reflection, but you can spin the ball to alter that, which is probably why this game should be in all the schools around the world, because there's lots to be learnt apart from the skills of applying to play the game well. There's a lot of physics about this game and geometry. I'm sure there could be some decent assignments set up, both maths, physics and playing of the game. Dylan Leary's on the reds. Plenty of work to do because he got 3 balls close to cushions, and those yellows are sitting ducks over the pockets, or just sitting there waiting to be potted. At least he's got 1 red out. He can take a red in the middle. He's got his work cut out to pot out here though. It'd be a pretty awesome pot out if he can make it. Score check, and McHugh is only 1 frame away from making the final. He leads 9 frames to 5 against Cole Sutton. I'll look out for when that match finishes for you.
30 seconds.
Dylan Leary of Northern Ireland here. He's pressure shot, pressure pot into the middle pocket here. Every shot's a pressure shot for him now. It's just snuck in. Played it nice and slow and gave it every chance. And of course the table played truly.
30 seconds.
Brilliant tables for these championships. Prepared by Supreme. Strawn cloth and Aramuth balls, all sponsors of the World Championships. Big thank you to all the team. Do a tremendous amount of work in putting on these World Championships. The English Pool Association. We're watching Dylan Leary of Northern Ireland, current European champion, trying to stay in this match against Dom Cooney, who's had to play all the way through the qualifiers. But he resides in Cambridge, an area where Phil Harrison plays. I'm sure he's a good, he'd be an ideal sparring partner if you wanted a sparring partner. What a wonderful shot by Dylan Leary. Some of the shots he produced to win the European Championship back in February in Killarney in Ireland. He's got to pull off another big one here. He's got to double into that bottom left-hand pocket and work his way wide across to the black. That's a big shot. That's a big shot to Dylan Leary. He's got to be oozing with confidence now. He's got to keep his composure, make sure he pots his black. Dylan Leary is going nowhere. He's well and truly in this match. He draws to 7-8 against Dom Cooney of Cambridge, England. So we're here coming to you from Blackpool in England, the Men World Championships semi-final. Dom Cooney, qualifier in this event, leads 8 frames to 7 in a race to 10 against Dylan Leary of Northern Ireland, the current European champion. Now, what's happening in the other match? Score check, 9-5 to the current world champion, Mick Hill. It looks like there's a bit of a tactical battle there to try and stay in the match by Cole. But we're certainly in for a thriller here with these last few frames. The pressure must be building on these two players. They're playing for a shot in the grand final of the World Championships. The Supreme World Championships, overseen by the World 8-Ball Pool Federation. We've been around since 27 years, since 1992. When New Zealand, Australia and England decided to sit down and form a world body. Here we go, there's an aerial shot of the break. It must be Dylan Leary to see where that white's gone. That's breaking. He'll hit that second ball in, the yellow. Big break. They've all been big breaks, but they haven't necessarily always produced a potted ball, and this is no exception. Unfortunately, all balls still on the table. Dom Cooney's got a big chance. Big chance to take this match by the scruff of the neck and just be 1 frame away from a shot in the grand final. He'll be fancying his chances here as he sees alive these reds. Has he gone a little bit too far though? But he's got 2 options. He's got red in the middle. That red probably even comes to this bottom right hand corner, but I'd say the red in the middle is his first choice. And he can clear all those reds at the top end of the table, top end of screen. once he pots the red in the right hand pocket. But I'll leave it to him. I won't try and tell him his graph, that's for sure. The amount of frames he's had to win to be in this position, 8-7 up in the semi-final of the World Championships. He's taking this red into the bottom. No, he's taking a double. Oh my God, what a shot. At this stage of the match, to take that shot on in this situation, this guy well and truly believes that he can be the next world champion. To play a shot like that in this situation. Leading 8-7. The table just been handed to him from the dry break. And now he's just methodically, one ball after another, just has to clear that end of the table. I think that red goes into the middle, but he's got red top right hand corner. Cooney. If you're in it, what a match. Looks like McHugh could be shaping up to pot the black that takes him to the grand final. McHill's into the grand final. He takes that match out 10-5 against Cole Sutton. In the meantime, do we have a new world champion shaping up here in Cooney? It's not quite what he thought would happen there, I don't think. But he's played some great shots to get to the position he's in at the moment in 8-7. But 8-ball's a funny game. Just going to take Dylan Leary a couple of big shots to return the compliment, and he could well be back into this match. He never went away, but I mean he could well be in a position where he turns it round. In the previous women's semi-final, we saw Amy Beecham not take the lead until very late in the match. She trailed all day till the last couple of frames. That's a nice pot. It's a clever pot. And yellows. I was going to say he might try and play a safety, but I don't think so. He's got a nice yellow into the middle pocket. To that middle left pocket where he's got a big pocket. That red is creating a little bit of a cushion there. The only thing he's got to negotiate is how he's going to break those two yellows close to the right hand cushion. Best of 19 frames means it's a race to 10. It's a nice shot, and he's dislodged that red away from that middle pocket. And now he's also thought of where he needs to leave his white to pot this yellow and break those two yellows. So certainly answered my question pretty quickly. Yours truly, Joe Fanto, coming to you from Blackpool here in England. My pleasure to be commentating this World Men's semi-final. The Supreme World 8-Ball Pool Championships, sanctioned by the World 8-Ball Pool Federation. That sign and logo you can see on this brilliant arena that's been prepared for us this year. And of course to the left you can see the Strawn cloth logo. Both Supreme and Strawn, wonderful sponsors of the World 8-Ball Pool Federation and these championships. Dylan Leary, He's got the table at present. Probably would have liked that yellow off the cushion. He's going on his merry way with this break though so far. I guess what's the plan for that yellow on the cushion? Is he going to take this yellow into the bottom left and take the angle to nudge the yellow off the cushion? Or does he fancy himself doubling it when he gets to it? Taking that. Is he going to miss the middle? He has. Looked like a chance for an off there for a minute. So I suspect he's going to run this yellow down to the bottom right hand pocket. He'll have the angle to keep his white off the cushion. Tenth semi-final of this men's world championship singles event. Thought he's going to miss for a minute, but no. The cut of the pocket took that pot, and he's got his white perfectly positioned to pot this yellow in the bottom left-hand corner and get his white close to that black so he can send it to the top left-hand corner. It's a nice shot. Everything going according to plan for Dylan Leary to level the score. The scores are level in this semi-final. Dylan Leary draws level with Dom Cooney here in the Men's World Championship semi-final. Dom Cooney 8, Dylan Leary 8. Dom Cooney from England, Dylan Leary from Northern Ireland, and the current European champion. They're battling away for a spot in the grand final of these World Championships. Richard Rhodes racks the balls to take us into these last couple of exciting frames, last 2 or 3 exciting frames of this semi-final. And of course Mick Hill is going to be the opponent on whoever wins here. They'll get a crack at the 5 times world champion, Mick Hill. It'll be either Dom Cooney or Dylan Leary. The score in that other match was Mick Hill 10, Carl Sutton 5. A big thank you to everybody that's made these World Championships this year a massive success. Record entrance. In excess of 15 teams represented, countries represented with teams. Great presentation at the AGM. Lots of interest shown in our World 8-Ball Pool Federation body, and lots of good work in considering various rule changes, which basically a vote of confidence in our rules the way they are, because there was no rule changes apart from taking on board the racking with the balls to be part of the world rules, and the total snooker to be a major heading, and the lag to be part of the rules, which all those things were simply a part of the guidelines, but no official rule changes, which is a vote of confidence in my opinion for the rules. And don't be fooled, anyone that wants to play an attacking game, these rules certainly allow you to do that. And the cream will always come to the top. And speaking of cream, Dom Cooney is certainly showing us how good a player he is here. He's had to battle his way through the qualifiers. The boy from Cambridge, I thought he had the record for quickest frame previously, but this one here may well be. He's only got 3 balls left to pot, and the black, and all 4 are in the open. It looks like he's going to creep closer to a spot in the grand final. He's nicely left that white to take that second last red in the middle pocket. Just run past put the other red into the opposite middle pocket and bury the black into that same pocket. So Dylan Leary only just levelled the scores. But I think Dom Cooney has got other ideas about letting him take the lead. Red, right middle pocket. Black, left middle pocket. Ooh, he's just probably gone a little bit further than he would have liked. He's left himself a fine cut on the black in the middle. Probably hit that ball a little bit harder than I would have expected. So let's just brace ourselves here. No problem for Dom Cooney. He's got other ideas. He goes 9-8 to lead this semi-final against Dylan Leary. He's only one frame away from a spot in the grand final. Best of 19 frames. He only has to hit 10 and he'll be the winner of this match and into the grand final against current world champion Mikhail. Looks like there's going to be a quick break. A little bit of timeout has been called. I suspect the cue's on the table. The referee left to rack up the balls. Richard Rhodes. I think I've only seen one questioning of the rack of the balls. Gives the balls a little bit of a wipe over. Pushes them in nice and tight and make sure they're all touching. You couldn't wish for a more exciting match. It's neck and neck. Dylan Leary is certainly living up to the form that he showed in the European Championships. But Dom Cooney, the boy from Cambridge, has come here to mark his mark. Hope you're all enjoying watching this match wherever you might be watching. The North or Southern Hemisphere, anywhere in Europe. African countries, Australia, New Zealand. So Dylan is sticking to his usual break. He's going extreme right, angled into that second ball, and he's got a red. He's got a couple of balls down, both reds. Where's the white? It looks like it's on the bottom cushion. So he hasn't got a good lie on the white, but probably means he's going to take yellows because all the yellows are well and truly out in the open. There's just one yellow near a cushion, but very potable. So yellow ball's potted. Dylan on yellows, Dom on reds. Opportunity for Dylan to level the scores again, and it just becomes a shootout in the last frame. The tension builds. Players cannot afford to get nervous. They've got to keep their smooth cueing action going and their thinking clear. And of course in the team games it's just a different pressure altogether again because you're playing for your teammate and your country. So we don't want to put the mockers on Dylan by saying anything looks like an easy clearance because no such thing. All it takes is a slight drop in concentration and what looks easy. You kick yourself and wonder how did I muck that up? I've done it so many times. So Dylan Leary is going to take this yellow probably to the bottom right hand pocket and take his white back slightly and then probably put the yellow to the bottom left hand pocket. That's a lovely shot. Would have liked to have gone a little bit more so it's a bit straighter, so it might mean that he might take that yellow into the middle, the second yellow in from the bottom cushion into the middle, so that he's got a nicer angle for this yellow into the bottom right. That's it, so you can, that's a nice angle for this yellow into the bottom right and slide across for the yellow in the middle. So remember, this is off the break. It'll be a great, if he can clear these 3 balls, it'll be a great response to Dom hitting the front, hitting the 9 frame mark and knocking on the door to victory. But of course, Dom Cooney will be breaking. Great clearance from Dylan Leary of Northern Ireland to level the scores at 9-all against Dom Cooney in this semi-final here in the Men's World Championships semi-final. Well, 1 frame left. It's a shame that a match like this has to come down to 1 frame. 1 frame is going to determine who plays Mick Hill, 5 times world champion, in this World Championship final. The men's singles event. Coming to you from Blackpool here in England at the Supreme World 8-Ball Pool Championships. Wherever you're watching in the world, brace yourself for this last frame. Just imagine you're playing in it and the nerves you might be feeling. I'd be absolutely trembling. I'd be trembling at even the first break, let alone being 9-all. Because you can't afford to be letting nerves affect you when you're playing this many frames. If you're going to be successful, you've got to be able to keep your cool. And of course, Dom breaks from the extreme opposite side and he hits the head ball. There we go, and that head ball goes straight into the top right hand pocket from where we look. You've got a red ball potted, no yellows. What will he take? I think he'll take reds. Unless that yellow runs past the red ball at that balk end, I believe he'll take reds. If the yellow passes, it looks like he's aiming for reds. Reds it is. Will he break and dish from here? He's certainly broken, potted a ball. Really clear. He's going to take that double on now. These are the shots that win these matches. There's such a fine line between these 2 players, just a razor edge. He'll be hoping that he can keep his opponent away from the table. It's one of those that I think you've got to take it nice and firm, make it bite into the cushion and bounce it, spit it straight back into that pocket. And of course he's played that perfectly, hasn't he? That's a brilliant shot under this sort of pressure. Absolutely amazing. This is new territory for Dom in these World Championship. But he's certainly made a mark for himself, win, lose or draw in this match. Certainly not a draw, there's only one winner, and that's whoever wins this frame. He's been amazing. Keep in mind Dylan Leary, just won the European Championship. So he knows what it's like to actually play in a final and win a major event. With these rules. Dom Cooney playing for the middle pocket here. He just doesn't miss when he goes for the pot. I cannot recall too many balls that Dom has missed. So now he's got this long pot, maybe slightly awkward bridge. Got the yellow ball close by. So this is going to test him. So which ball is he going to look to bang into one of these bottom pockets? Here we go. Brace yourself. There we go. That's a miss. Now Dylan Leary's turn. Taking a bit of the pressure. 1, 2, 3, 4 balls on cushions. The ball looks as if it sneaks into the middle. The yellow near that left middle pocket.
30 seconds.
Dylan Leary from Northern Ireland. Certainly taking his time on this shot. He knows the importance. One more frame for a crack at the world champion. 5-time world champion and defending world champion, McHugh. That's a great shot. He's left a really tight shot. Can't see how close it is, and I can't tell if it's a total snooker. Maybe with an overhead we might be able to tell if it's a total snooker. He's aiming to hit a cushion, that's for sure. So it would appear as if it's a snooker. So Dom Cooney's going for reds here. He's missed. He's fouled. Dylan Leary has 2 shots. 2 shots in this semi-final with the scores all tied in at 9-all. You could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 balls on the cushion, 2 in the open. 2 shots to Dylan Leary of Northern Ireland. Can he clear these 8 balls and step into the grand final of the Men's World Championships for 2019? That's 1 ball potted. His first ball potted for this frame, the deciding frame. Pacing around the table. Penny for his thoughts, pulls his chalk out of his pocket. Probably looking to see if this yellow that doesn't come past because the black's in the way to this bottom right hand pocket. Doesn't appear to have any easy pots here at the moment. But he's got 2 shots. So he takes the yellow at the top end of the table, which is probably just off cushion. He's played that very decisively and precisely and potted that ball. That's a great shot. Yeah, the sort of pots he needs if he's going to make this clearance. This one probably looks relatively easy to him compared to that last one that he potted. The fact that he's so close to the object ball. But nothing's too easy under this pressure. Nine frames all. Nine frames all. 3 balls potted. Does that exceptionally well. Not just a pot, but he's brought his white ball back down this end of the table where all the action is, where all the balls need to be potted. Still 2 shots. So looking to play bottom, he'll probably play into this yellow that's near the black. If the trick is to pot it, though, he's missed. Only 1 shot remaining. One shot remaining. Awkward bridge. Awkward bridge if he plays the yellow to the top pocket, top right hand pocket. And he can see all those reds, middle of the table, black pots in this bottom right. What's going through his mind?
30 seconds.
What's he saying to himself? He's trying to play a safety back behind the yellow and the black. How's he left it? Okay. Dom Cooney's got that straight red to that top left-hand pocket. If he bangs this in, chances are he's going to clear and step into the grand final. If he misses, Dylan still has hope.
30 seconds.
We'll just keep silent and draw some of the tension. That's a great shot. Absolute brilliant shot under this pressure when you're playing for a spot in the grand final of a world championship. It's a great shot in practice for me, let alone under this pressure. What's he going to take now? Is he going to take the red into the bottom left-hand corner first? He expects his white's going to come out enough to pot that in the middle. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. He's kind of pulled his white back so he stays on this side of it and stays perfect on that red. Dom Cooney, I think no doubt, is going to be in the grand final. Red potted. Dom Cooney, qualifier, makes it through to the grand final of the World Championships for the men's singles event for 2019. What an amazing achievement. He defeats Dylan Leary, the current European champion from Northern Ireland, 10 frames to 9. What a match. Right down to the final frame. Congratulations, Dom Cooney from Cambridge here in England. So, the grand final, Mick Hill, 5 times world champion and defending world champion, versus Dom Cooney, having to come through the qualifiers from Cambridge here in England. Congratulations to both players for making the final. Big cheerio from you all, but stay tuned, plenty of action to come.